although I likewise did not agree with his message or his methods, many sisters who are suggesting that Kevin Samuels created this rift between black men and black women, they're being disingenuous. 75% of the vitriol, the hostility, and the vilification that black women are now showing towards Kevin Samuels would be more rightly placed or directed towards the queendom, the sisterhood, not Kevin Samuels. If anything, he exposed it, he exploited it, and he marketed the pre-existing differences between black men and black women, but he did not birth them. And so I'm disappointed in both the way that black men and black women are reacting to Kevin Samuels' death. On the side of the sisterhood, I'm seeing black women say things like, I'm throwing a party to celebrate his death. I've seen a sister say that. I've seen other women say, yes, we should be praising God for this. We should be honoring the ancestors that he is dead. But did you have the same energy for the police that killed Trayvon Martin? Did you have the same energy for the police who killed Breonna Taylor and Sandra Bland? I mean, what about the enemies of the black community? Did you throw a party when they were convicted or murdered or whatever the case may be? You don't show that type of vitriol to the enemies of black people, but yet you'll show it to Kevin Samuels. And then on the side of the brother's attorney, I take issue with the way in which many of our men are elevating him to the level of a black liberation martyr. Kevin Samuels was not a black activist. He did not have a history of grassroots work. I'm not aware of anything he did to fight against police injustice, mass incarceration, miseducation, gentrification, access to wealth. He was a businessman. He was a very successful businessman who used his platform to market his views on black male-female relationships to a tune of $3+ million. And I have no problem with people celebrating him as a businessman. I have no problem with people applauding the professional manner in which he offered his narrative to black men and black women. Three-piece suit, very calm, very professional, the ambiance of his platform. I had no problem with the way he conducted himself. But the method and the message I totally disagree with. And I support black men who want to support Kevin Samuels, but it is disingenuous and it is wrong, Dr. King and Medgar Evers and Malcolm X and Fred Hampton and the most honorable Marcus Garvey to elevate this man's work to the level of martyrhood or saintdom when he has no history of grassroots activism or work. He was a businessman who did a very good job offering his opinions on male-female relationships. I think there is validity. I do not believe that it is potentially a political assassination. He was very successful. He made a lot of money. He had enemies. And so I very much think that it is possible that black women who hated him or black men who were jealous of him could have potentially participated in a conspiracy that brought about his premature demise. I am also not going to rule out the possibility that the non-black woman that he unfortunately spent his last night on earth with may have been a proxy for his assassination. The fact that this footage showing that she and Mr. Samuels had a disagreement on camera, okay, he was a little perturbed. I saw the video. We could not see her, but it did look like she wanted to walk in front of the frame on his live, and he told her no. He motioned her away from that. It also looked like he was telling her, if you want to leave, go ahead and leave. You know, he seemed like he was dismissive of whatever her issue was. Understandably, if he's about to go live and she knows that, this is not the time to discuss your issue. So perhaps she wanted to sabotage his live to force him to deal with whatever her issue was. And allegedly, he succumbed on the very evening that he had this mild altercation with this woman. So yes, I think it is very possible that that woman, who many allege was a nurse, could have been a proxy in Mr. Samuels'. The fact that the police report mentioned that they were called for an injury. They didn't say a black male was having a heart attack. They were called there for an injury, which to me is suggestive of the possibility that there was some sort of a physical altercation that took place between him and that female. So, yes, I do believe it could have been foul play. See, the contradiction of those who take issue with the disrespectful manner in which Kevin Samules criticized black women, the hypocrisy lies in the fact that they listened to gangster rap music that disrespected them far more and far worse than Kevin Samules did, but they're not wishing for the death of any of those artists. You see, they watch reality shows and they follow entertainers who have had some of the most disrespectful things to say about black women, but yet and still none of those entertainers or athletes were criticized or condemned as much as Kevin Samules, and those people have made more money than Kevin Samules, and they still happen to be walking on the earth. So we have to call a spade a spade.